let's start our discussion about the VOR and later on the ILS. So when it comes to VOR, okay, so ang tawag nito is very high frequency omnidirectional range. Okay, so sa VOR pa lang mahaba na, very high frequency omnidirectional range. Okay, mahaba-haba yan. So itong VOR na to is one of the oldest and most useful navigational aids na ginagamit. And the system was constructed after the World War II and is still in use today. So it consists of 1,000 of land-based transmitter stations. Okay? So yung mga land-based transmitter, let's say umaabot siya ng about uh, there are about 3,000 VOR stations worldwide. Okay? Well, yung iba syempre tinatanggal kasi uh, the number of VORs sa mga US is declining. So, in the last decade, yung FAA kasi has identified and underutilized and redundant VOR stations which no longer provide adequate benefit. So, nakakadagdag lang din ng gastos. Pero, mga ganun yung range na umaabot sa VOR. Umaabot siya ng about 3,000. Okay? VOR. So, itong mga VOR na to, sila yung nagko-communicate with radio receiving equipment on board the aircraft. And yung mga VOR is located along the airways. Okay? So, ano ba yung airways na yun? So, tinatawag siyang Victor Airways. Okay, yung mga Victor Airways are provided system of established routes that run along specified VOR radials from one VOR station to another. So the purpose is to make the flight planning easier and they help ATC to organize and regulate the air traffic flow. So dito sa image na to, yung nakakita nyo mga lines, ayan yung mga airways na yan. And ito yung example ng VOR. Ayan. And ito, isa pa. So, dinadaanan yan, yun nga, is to organize pa din yung mga aircraft. So, hindi pwedeng basta lumilipad ka lang, well, sa air, nang walang, or hindi ka nare-regulate ng ATC. Okay? Kasi, malaki yung possibility na kung lumipad ka lang kung saan-saan, meron kang makasalubong na aircraft. So, everyone naman here is familiar naman sa flight radar. Okay, 'di ba? Merong app na flight radar. Kung tinitignan niyo yung mga flights, 'di ba? Sobrang daming aircraft na lumilipad, kala nyo wala, pero meron naman. So, nagagamit naman tong VOR na to. So, itong mga VOR na to, okay, ulitin ko lang ulit, is a navigational aid. So, at the most simple level, yung VOR is a type of navigation system for aircraft using a very high frequency radio signals emitted by the beacons. So, yung mga VOR station broadcast the three-letter identifier in Morse code, okay, gumagamit sila ng Morse code because yung VOR signal have range of about 200 miles. Okay, so nandun yung ranges niya. And it is possible din sa aircraft to receive multiple VOR signals. Lalo na kung isi-set nila doon sa ah, component nila. So ito, yung nakikita nyo dito is the example of the ground VOR transmitter. So itong mga transmitter na to located at the airports where they are known as terminal VOR. And the US military has a navigational system known as the TACAN and that operates similarly to VOR system. So sometimes VOR and TACAN transmitter shares the location. Okay, so ginagamit na rin yung VORTAC kung tawagin. So yung military and for commercial use, nakagamit na sila ng ganito. Okay, nag-share na silang information. So the position of all VOR and TVOR and vortex are marked on aeronautical charts. Okay, nakita nyo dito, ito, katulad nito. Ayan, yung VOR na yan is Avenal. Nandyan din yung frequency niya, ito yung Morse code niya, ito yung shortened code. Okay? So, lahat yan nakikita doon sa navigational charts or aeronautical charts. So, some viewer also broadcast voice identifier on separate frequency that includes on the chart. Okay? Yung iba naman is merong voice identifier kasi kung hindi nila ma-identify through Morse code. Okay? Narinig naman ba? Okay, so hoping naririnig. And some of you are, okay, the VOR uses the VHF radio waves 108 to 117.95 megahertz with a separations ng 50 kilohertz to each channel. Okay, so alam niyo naman yun, David, nabanggit ko naman yan before, pag sa AM and FM. Okay, AM and FM, 'di ba, kada channel is meron silang gap between para walang overlapping ng signal or hindi mo narinig yung signal ng kabilang station. Okay? Same lang din dito sa may VR. So meron silang separation ng 50 kilohertz. So this keeps the atmosphere interference to a minimum but limits the VR to line of sight usage. So to receive VR, VHF radio waves generally use a V-shape horizontally polarized and bipole antenna. So ito yung nakikita sa horizontal polarized. Ito yung V-shape na antenna. Ayan, bipole. So sa mga small aircraft, okay, nakikita yan. Yung mga ganyan nyo sa antenna. Or kung V-shape, nakaganyan yan. And ayan yung sa may bipole. Okay, nakikita yan sa may tail section. And yun, nabanggit natin before, di ba sa NDB, kung nagtatransmit siya ng signal, is widespread ng 360. And pagdating naman kay VOR, okay, ganun din. Same lang din, 360, pero meron siyang direction. So the signal produced by the VOR transmitter propagates 360 degrees from the unit and are used by the aircraft to navigate to and from the station with the help of onboard VOR receiver and display instrument. So yung pilot is not required to fly a pattern to intersect the signal from the VOR station since it propagates out in every direction. Di ba, na-discuss natin before, sa NDB, kailangan niyang malocate kung nasan yung station or kailangan din niyang madaanan. Pero dito kay VOR, dahil na-determine kung nasaan yung signal na gagaling is so hindi niya na kailangan dumaan doon. So the radio waves are received as long as the aircraft is in range of the ground unit and regardless of the aircraft direction of travel. So sa nakikita nyo dito, si aircraft is sa bandang 315. Ayan, 315 from the station. Okay? So kung ito yung instrument niyan, okay, at nakadaan na siya dito, tuturo doon yung tuturo yan, tuturo pa rin kung nasaan yung, station, and maglalabas yan ng to or from the station. Mamaya makikita din natin dito. So, si VR transmitter produces two signals that a receiver on board an aircraft uses to locate itself in relation to the ground station. So, yung isa is pinapakita lang dito, is for the reference signal, and the second is produced by electronically rotating a variable signal. Okay? So, nagko-connecta lang yung dalawa. So, the variable signal is in phase with the reference signal when at magnetic north, but becomes increasingly out of phase as rotated to 180 degrees. Okay? So, ulitin lang natin, So, yung variable signal, in phase with the reference. Ayan. Okay? Pero, once na umabot na siya ng 180, okay, or nasa likod na, okay, nasa likod niya na, galing na siya dun sa may station umabot na siya sa 180. Okay, nag-out of phase na siya. Kaya nade-determine niya, okay, na lumagpas na siya dun sa may station. So the receiver in the aircraft deciphers the phase difference and determines the aircraft position in degrees from the VOR ground-based unit. That's why most aircraft carry a dual VOR receiver. So nakikita nyo sa figure na to, isang NAVCOM receiver typically found in the light aircraft. Okay? So sometimes the VOR receivers are part of the same avionics unit as the VHF communication transceivers. Yan tinatawag siyang NAVCOM. Okay? So for navigation din siya and communication. So internal components are shared since frequency bands for each are adjacent. Okay? So kaya tinatawag din yan NAVCOM. Nagamit siya for navigation and communication. So sa mga large aircraft, okay, a means for switching between nav1 and nav2. So meron silang nav1 and nav2 is provided as a switch for selecting the active or standby frequency. So VR receivers are also found coupled with instrument landing system. Okay, later on madidiscuss naman natin si instrument landing system. Pero nandyan nga din, meron tayong active or standby. Kasi 'di ba, from point A, punta tayo dito, point A, point B. Okay. Pag lilipad ka, 'di ba same lang din sa NDB, may mga VOR stations, okay? Lalo nang may madadaanan. Okay, kahit dito pa 'yan, okay? Papunta dito, may mga VOR stations. So, kung si aircraft ay papalipad dito, okay? 'Yan yung active niya. And then yung second, okay? I-input niya na dito sa standby. Okay? I-input niya na sa standby para pagkalagpas niya dito sa VUR is nakaset na yung isa. So tapos tsaka lang ulit siya magse-set para hindi siya every time naglalagay ng panibagong frequency. So parang mas madaming work yung ginagawa ng piloto kung gano'n yung nangyari. Okay? So An airliner VOR control head with two independent nav receiver, uh, each with an active and standby tuning circuit controlled by a toggle switch. Okay? So dito, syempre, ito nakita niyong white, ayan yung pag-set nila sa frequency. And then, ito naman, yung nasa gitna. Ay, sorry, ito pala yung nasa gitna. Ito, ayan. Okay. Yung switch nila, pagpalit dun sa active or standby. So, ganun yung ginagawa nila. Now, punta tayo dito. Ano ba yung nangyayari sa VOR? Okay, nasusundan pa ba? Hindi, sorry mabagal yung internet. Pero nasusundan?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Thank you sa pagsagot. So, dito ito yung instrument na ginagamit kay VOR. Okay. Kung nakikita nyo, meron siyang parts, OBS knob, meron siyang 2-inch dots, CDI needle, course index, uh, unreliable signal flag, meron siyang to or from indicator. Mamaya, makikita nyo kung saan niya ginagamit. So, a VOR receiver interprets the bearing in degrees to or from the VOR station. So, dito pa lang, nade-determine nyo na kung dumaan na kayo or nakalagpas na kayo sa VOR station. It also produces DC voltage to drive the display of the deviation from the desired course, center line to or from the selection station. Ayan yan. Yan yung lumalabas doon sa may instrument. So, the receiver decides whether or not the aircraft is flying towards the viewer or away from it. So, these items can be displayed a number of different ways on various instruments. Sa mga older aircraft are often equipped with the VOR gauge dedicated display only VOR informations. This also called an omni bearing selector or a course deviation indicator. Okay, meron tayong OBS, o tinatawag siyang course deviation indicator. Doon sa may CDI, linear indicator, okay, remains essentially vertical but moves left and right. So nakikita nyo sa CDI needle, okay, ito, nagmo-move yung needle na, yung nasa gitna, yung white na vertical, nagmo-move yan from left to right. So across on the graduation on the instrument na nakikita nyo dito. Okay, kaya nandyan yung 2 degrees. So itong maliliit na to, pinapakita lang niya na example, 2 degrees siyang lihes doon sa VOR. Ayan, or 4 degrees, yan 5. I-add lang. So every 2 degrees. So the OBS knobs rotate the azimuth ring when in range of the VOR. Okay, so ito, yung umiikot. Yan, yung azimuth ring, yung mukhang compass. So when in range of VOR, the pilot rotates the OBS until the course deviation indicator center. Okay? So, etong OBS na to, ayan, iniikot niyan dapat kasi magse-center yung needle. Okay? Parang ganito lang yan, yung sa needle. Okay? Yung nakikita nyo dito, yan. O, nakikita nyo ito, yan. So, di ba, hindi siya nag-center? So, para mag-center yan, iikot nyo to si Omni bearing. Yan. Para ma-determine niya kung nasan yung signal. Okay? So, balik tayo dito. So for each location of an aircraft, the OBS can be rotated to two positions where the CDI will center. So one produces an arrow in the two window of the graduate of the gauge, indicating that the aircraft traveling towards the VOR station, and the other selectable bearing is 180. So diyan na nade-determine kung sa I2 or from the indicator. Ay, sorry. So when chosen, okay, pag nagalaw mo na yung sa OBS when chosen, the arrow is displayed in the from window, indicating the aircraft is moving away from the VOR on course selected. Okay? So, lalabas na yung to or from. Lalabas yun na to or from, makikita mo na kung ikaw ay to or away ka na sa station. So, the pilot must steer the aircraft to the heading with the CDI centered to fly directly to or from the VOR. So the display VOR information is derived from deciphering the phase relationship between the two simultaneously transmitted signals from the VOR ground station. So when power is lost or VOR signal is weak or interrupted, nandyan yung nav na to. Okay? So nakikita nyo yung unreliable signal flag. Nandyan si lalabas yan if yung VOR is weak or interrupted. Okay? So, hindi palagi nandyan yung red flag na yan. So, lalabas yan pag mahina or weak or interrupted yung signal. So, ulitin lang ulit natin gagalawin ni pilot ito, middle na to. So, once ginagalaw niya, kailangan niya na mag-fly, okay, doon mismo sa may station para ma-determine niya yung airways niya. Okay? Doon siya papunta. Ayan. So, ito lang yung difference nung sa analog and digital, syempre. So, a separate gauge for the VOR information is not always used. So, as a flight instrument and displays have evolved, yung mga VOR navigation information has been integrated into instrument displays, such as yung radio magnetic indicator, the horizontal situation indicator, an EFIS display or an electronic attitude director indicator, which is ito. Yan. So, hindi na palaging tumitingin dito kasi kasama na din sila dito. Electronic attitude indicator. So, katulad sa mga flat panel, yung multifunction display integrates view or information into moving map, okay, presentation, and other selected display. Kaya yung mga basic information of the radial bearing in degrees, yung mga course deviation, indication, and to or from na information remains unchanged. Ayan. Nandiyan pa din. Pinapakita pa din. So, sa mga large airports, an instrument landing system guides the aircraft to the runway while on an instrument landing approach. So, the aircraft's VOR receiver is used to interpret the radio signal. Okay? So, di ba kay VOR, sinabi natin, coupled siya kay ILS. So, yung signal or yung frequency na ginagamit sa ILS, okay, is kaparehas kay VOR. So, it produces a more sensitive course deviation indication on the same instrument display as the VOR CDI display. Okay? So this part of ILS is known as the localizer, and madidiscuss pa din natin siya sa next topic. While tuned to the ILS localizer frequency, the VOR circuitry of the VOR ILS receiver is inactive. So it is common at the VOR stations to combine the VOR transmitter with DME or the non-directional beacon such as an ADF transmitter and antenna. So pag pinag-usapan naman station, yung slant distance is na may measure when it comes to DME. Okay? So the pilot can gain an exact fix on their location using the VOR and DME together. So since the VOR indicates the aircraft's bearing, it indicates how far the station over the station to known with a certainty his or her location. Okay? So nadidetermine na nila yung slant distance. Kaya di na din sila naliligaw kung nalagpasan na nila yung uh, airport or station. So dito naman is the functional accuracy of the VOR equipment is critical to the safety of flight. So nagkakaroon ng testing pa rin yung VOR. So sa mga VOR, okay, depende sa airport kung equipped sila doon sa may facility. So these are located at the numerous airport. So specific points on the airport surface are given to perform the test. So merong parts sa airport. So hindi sila pwede mag-operate mismo doon sa may airport. So meron silang space kung magte-test sila ng VOR. So most VOT requires tuning to 108 megahertz on the VOR receiver and centering the CDI. So pag naka-center sila sa CDI, okay, pag naka-indicate ay 0, dapat from yung lalabas dun sa indicator, and pag 180 yung nilagay nila doon or sa OBS tinapat nila sa 180, dapat mag-show siya ng 2. Okay? So some repair station can also generate signals to test VOR receivers, although not on 108.0 megahertz. And dapat yung error lang, okay, sa pagte-test ng VOR is positive or negative 4 degrees. So bawal lang sumobra doon. So tune the VOR receivers to the local ground VOR station. A bearing indication difference of no more than positive or negative 4 degrees is permissible. Okay, nasusundan naman ba kung paano siya gumagana? Si VOR?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Sure. So, pagdating naman kay ILS, okay, instrument landing system, support naman siya, siyempre, sa pag-land ng aircraft. Okay, support siya sa pag-land sa aircraft, Okay, so kung hahanapin naman natin sa yung meaning niya sa Google. So the instrument landing system is a radio navigation system that provides precision guidance to aircraft approaching a runway. Okay? So pag mag-a-approach na yung aircraft, si ILS yung nandyan para mag-guide. So gina-guide naman gumagana naman si ILS lalo na kung poor visibility yung airport or yung runway. Okay? Kaya nga siya landing system. Yes. Ocampo.
Sir, tanong ko lang.
Sure.
Excuse me po. Yung ILS po ba is specifically used lang talaga siya for auto landing?
Yes, oo. Specifically, ginagamit lang siya for landing. Okay, pero syempre, pag nasa aircraft ka, hindi mo siya magagamit. Kasi, yung tawag dito, may specific range lang yung sa ILS. Kasi, di ba, kanina sinabi natin, coupled yung VOR kay ILS. So, once na nasa airways or nasa ere yung eroplano, mostly yung gumagana doon is yung VOR. Pero once na bumaba na, malapit na mag-approach sa specific airport si aircraft, okay, magiging inactive yung VOR and yung ILS yung gumagana. Okay. Nagagets ba ako? Ocampo? Okay, so hopefully nagets mo. And then, okay, so sa approaches na gumagana. And yun nga, dito tayo, next page, sorry. So, saan nakikita nyo to? Okay. Nakikita nyo na ba yung next page?
Hindi pa po, sir.
Hindi pa. Bagal ng internet, Yan. Okay. So, kanina sinabi natin, si ILS is used to land an aircraft when the visibility and poor. So, pero may mga runways or airport na hindi sila equipped ng ILS. Okay? So, pag hindi sila equipped ng ILS and minsan hindi pinapaland yung mga aircraft doon. Okay? So, limited yung mga pinapaland doon sa specific na aircraft na walang ILS. So, ulitin ko lang ulit, hindi lahat ng aircraft merong or equipped sila ng ILS. So, the radio navigation system guides the aircraft down a slope to touchdown area on the runway. So, multiple radio transmissions are used that enables an exact approach to landing with an ILS. So, gumagamit sila ng localizer. So, si localizer, siya yung provide ng horizontal guidance to the center line of the runway. Okay, so baka isipin, sir, saan yun? Tingnan natin kung ma-zoom natin dito. Ayan. So, kung nakikita nyo yung line na yan, okay, nilagyan ko na yan. So, yan, nagmo-move yan from left to right. Okay, nagmo-move yan ng left to right. So, syempre, pag nandito yan, katulad nito, nakikita nyo dito sa side na to, pag nandito yan, so kailangan mag-move ka or yung aircraft mo, mag-steer ka to the left. Same lang din, pag nasa leftmost yan, kailangan mag-steer sa right. Okay? So, yun yung horizontal guidance. And gumagamit sila ng localizer na antenna. So, meron naman din a separate glide slope broadcast provides baliktad. Sorry. Okay, ulitin ko ulit. Horizontal. Sorry. Ito pala yung horizontal. Ulitin ko. Sa localizer, horizontal. Okay? Okay, horizontal guidance. So, same lang din kung nasa uppermost or nandito nakalocate yung white na line, okay? Kailangan niyang bumaba. Ayan. Okay, sa nakikita niyo, sorry mabagal talaga yung internet eh. Okay. So, ulitin ko, kay localizer ayun yung horizontal guidance. So, pag nasa top mo siya, kailangan niyang bumaba. And ganun din, pag nasa baba, kailangan niyang umangat. Okay, so ulitin ko, kay localizer, siya yung nagpo-provide ng horizontal guidance. And kay glide slope, broadcast provides vertical guidance, yung kanina na sinabi ko. So, pag nasa left or right, kailangan niyang mag-steer from left or right. Okay? Ganun yung nangyari. Para, yun nga, the aircraft, meron siyang proper slope to touch the down point. Okay? Ganun yung nangyayari. So, si compass locator transmissions for outer and middle approach beacons aids the pilot in intercepting the approach navigational aid. Okay? Meron naman tayong tinatawag na compass locator. Okay? I-move ko yung screen. Ayan. Okay? Yung compass locator na yon is dinedetermine niya yung outer marker, yung middle marker, and meron pa dito inner eh. Hindi na sinama. Okay? Yung outer marker and yung middle marker kay compass locator. So, dito naman nila nade-determine kung nasang part na sila ng approach. Okay? Kaya hindi pa din sila maliligaw or magkakamali kung kailangan na talaga nila mag-touchdown. So, lahat-lahat na yan, all these radio signals makes ILS very accurate and reliable means for landing the aircraft. Okay? Hindi ko na binasa yun. Basahin nyo na lang isa-isa yung mga image. So, dito, ayan. Next, dun tayo sa next. Yan, si localizer. Localizer broadcast is a very high frequency broadcast in the lower range of the VOR frequency, 108 to 111.95 megahertz. And add frequencies lang okay? Lahat ng add frequencies. Only. So, two modulated signals are produced from horizontally polarized antenna complex beyond the far end of the approach runway. Okay? So, ayan yung nakikita nyo sa runway. So, wait lang. Hanapin natin. Yan. Okay. Localizer. Ito, example si localizer. Ayan. So, ulitin lang natin. Kay localizer, meron siyang modulation ng 90 hertz, ito, 90 hertz and 150 hertz. Okay? Para na-determine nila doon kung nasa leftmost na ba sila or right. Okay? Hati yan sa gitna. Kung titignan nyo sa image. Okay, ito yung 150, ito yung 90 hertz. Okay? So, they created an expanding field that is 21 over 2 degrees wide, about 1,500 feet or 5 miles from the runway. Okay, ganun kalayo. So, the left side of the approach area is filled with VHF carrier wave modulated in 90 Hz signal. Okay, yun yung sa left 90 Hz yung carrier wave niya. And the right side of the approach contains 150 Hz modulated signal. So, the aircraft's viewer receiver is tuned to the localizer VHF frequency that can be found on the published approach plates and aeronautical charts. Okay, doon nakikita yun ito na din pala yun. Okay, pagdating naman din kay glide slope, ay wait lang. Wala pa pala tayo kay glide slope. Yan. So, punta muna tayo dito. So, the circuitry specific to a standard VOR reception is inactive while the receiver uses localizer circuitry and components common to both. Okay? So, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, okay, yung VOR magiging inactive pero dun mapupunta siya kay ILS. So, the signal received are passed through the filters and rectified into DC to drive the course deviation indicator. So, nasabi ko na din pala 'to kanina, okay? 'Pag yung modulation frequency ng 90 and 150, if the aircraft receives 150 hertz signal, the CDI of the VOR ILS deflects to the left. Okay? Nagde-deflect siya sa may left. So the pilot must correct course with a turn to the left. So this centers the course deviation indicator on the display and centers the aircraft with the center line of the runway. If 90 hertz signal is received, okay, 90 hertz the CDI deflects to the right. Okay, parang kabaliktaran nangyayari. Kaya kung makikita nyo dito, kung ito yung aircraft, nandito yung aircraft, yung nose. Yan, nandito, banda. Nasa right siya. Magde-deflect ito sa left. Okay? Then, ganun din sa kabila. Okay? Pag nandito siya sa leftmost, magde-deflect naman yung yung needle dito sa may right. Okay? Nasusundan ba? Nasusundan ganun siya mag-deflect Ayan, isa pang example ng makikita yung for ILS. O punta naman tayo kay glide slope. Okay? So, kay glide slope, vertical guidance naman siya required for an aircraft to descend for landing is provided by the glide slope of the ILS. So, radio signals funnel the aircraft down to the touchdown point on the runway at the angle of approximately 3 degrees. Ito. So, ganito naman yung transmit yan ng signal. So, ito yung glide slope aerial example. Okay? So, vertically, nasa taas yung 90 and 150 nasa baba. Okay? So, the transmitting glide slope antenna is located off to the side of the approach runway approximately 1,000 feet from the threshold. Okay? So, ito yung threshold, 1,000 feet. It transmits in a wedge-like pattern with a field narrowing as it approaches the runway. So, ganun pa din, the glide slope transmitter antenna is horizontally polarized. The transmitting frequency range is ultra-high frequency between 329.3 megahertz and 335 megahertz. So, the frequency is paired pa rin sa localizer frequency of the ILS. So, when the VOR ILS receiver is tuned for approach, okay, automatically, si glide slope receiver is automatically tuned. So, nagtatransmit pa rin siya ng two signals, 90 and 150. So, kung nakikita ito sa figure na to, okay, diba vertically. So, ito vertically, ito naman yung pwedeng mag-up or mag-down. So, a traditional course deviation indicator, nakikita nyo sa left, the horizontal white line deviation indicator for the glide slope. Ayan, nilagyan ko na ng red para makita nyo kung nasaan. And yung isa, example, sa right is yung Garmin na primary flight display, okay? Pag mga digital na. So, yung narrow vertical scale, dun sa may right, ito siya. Gumagalaw yan. Is tumututok doon kung vertically, sorry. Horizontally align na siya doon kay runway, tsaka vertically aligned. Okay. Yun na yun. So ito, nag-up and down na to. Yung yellow and itong violet na yan. So the aircraft glides through receiver deciphers the signal similar to the method of the localizer receiver. So it drives a vertical course deviation indicator known as the glide slope indicator. So the glide slope indicator operates identically to the localizer CDIs, only 90 degrees to it. So CVOR ILS localizer, CDI, and the glide slope are displayed together on whichever kind of instrument in the aircraft. So dito sa may primary flight display, okay, meron yang green diamond. Ito, yung green diamond moves up and down to reflect the aircrafts being above or below the glide path. Okay, pinapakita niya kung above or below na daw siya sa glide path. So the diamond is shown centered, indicating the aircraft is on course vertically. So the localizer CDI can be seen at the bottom. Okay. Center of display, ito. Yan. Localizer. So its center section of vertically green course indicator. So lock 1 is displayed to the left of it. Yan. Ganyan siya kay primary flight display. Pero depende kasi kung anong klaseng display yung gamit. Ito din. Nagle-left or right. So, ito yung mga makikita nyo antennas possible sa aircraft. Okay, ito located to sa main nose part, ito sa tail part. Okay? So, the UHF antenna for the aircraft reception of the glide slope signal comes in many forms. A single dipole antenna mounted inside the nose of the aircraft is the common option kasi hindi sila nai-interrupt ng signal doon. Okay? So, located yan sa nose. Wala siyang ka-interfere. Kaya nagagamit yung VOR. So, sa mga smaller aircraft, okay, di ba kanina pinakita natin na pwedeng dito siya nakalagay sa tail. Okay, kasi pag nilagay siya sa unahan, ma-interrupt siya ng propeller. Kaya dyan siya nilagay sa taas. Okay, walang interruption ng signal. So, ito naman is yung localizer and glide slope receiver. So, nakikita to sa mga avionics bay. Okay, kung familiar kayo sa avionics bay compartment, malapit or nakikita ito malapit sa landing gear. So, merong maliit na pinto doon at pwede kayong makapasok doon. So, nandun lahat ng mga computers or devices na ginagamit sa aircraft. Okay, sa avionics bay. Kung napapadaan kayo sa YS-11, yung dito, okay, malapit sa nose landing gear, meron dong square na pinto. Yun yung pinto sa avionics bay papunta. Lalo na sa malalaking aircraft. Okay, so kay compass locator. Okay, pasok tayo kay compass locator, no? So, there is typically one located at the outer marker, yung kanina pinakita natin 4 to 7 miles from the runway threshold. And yung middle marker is about 3,500 feet from the threshold. So, the outer marker compass locator is a 25-watt NDB with a range of 15 miles. It transmits omnidirectional low-frequency radio waves keyed with the first two letters of the ILS identifier. Okay? So, ginagamitan lang din siya parang katulad ng NDB na signal. Yung kay compass locator. O ganito, yung makikita nyo. Kaya si ADF receiver is used, okay? Yung ADF ginagamit yun. So, yung ADF hindi lang siya for the NDB. Si ADF, nagagamit din siya to intercept the locator, so no additional equipment is required. So, if the middle marker compass locator is placed, it is similar but is identified with the last two letters of the ILS identifier. So, once na na-locate niya na, example, yung aircraft, pumasok na siya sa outer marker, the pilot maneuvers the aircraft to fly down the glide path to the runway. Okay? May lalabas na doon na color blue. Okay? Pag napadaan na siya doon kay outer marker. So, pag may lumabas na color blue, kailangan niya ng bumaba. So, same lang din kay middle marker and inner marker. Ayan, yun yung lalabas kay marker beacons. So, ulitin lang natin. Okay, yung outer marker is located 4 to 7 miles. Nagtatransmit siya ng 75 megahertz modulated in 400 hertz frequency. And meron siyang audio tone. Okay, kaya kahit tignan mo, okay, o kaya hindi mo napansin yung color blue, may audio tone yan. So, si marker beacon receives the signal and uses it to light the blue light on the instrument panel. And meron niyang oral tone in combination with the localizer and the glide slope indicator para malolocate mo yung approach mo kung nasan ka na. So, a middle marker beacon is also used. It is located on approach approximately 3,500 feet and nagtatransmit din siya ng 75 megahertz. Sa middle marker is modulated with 1,300 hertz tone, a series of dots and dashes. So, as to not to be confused with all the dash tones of the outer marker. So, yung ibang ILS approach have inner marker beacons that transmit signal. Okay, kaya meron din inner marker with 300 or 3,000 hertz. Yan. Ay, sorry, bumalik pala. So, the signal when received is used to illuminate white light on the instrument panel. Okay? Ito natin 3,000 hertz. Nasusundan? Okay, hopefully nasusundan nyo So, ulitin natin, nandiyan yung mga marker beacons para ma-determine nila kung nasang part na sila ng approach. Okay? Kaya may outer and may middle and may inner marker. So, the three marker beacon lights are usually incorporated in audio panel of general aviation aircraft. Okay, so ulitin natin incorporated siya sa audio panel. So, meron siyang audio tone na nog. Okay, tone. Kaya kahit hindi mo makita yung lights pero nakikita naman yan, meron niyang tone para ma-determine mo kung nasang marker ka na banda. And yung mga electronic display aircraft usually incorporate marker lights or indicator close to the glide slope display near the attitude director indicator. Ayaw mag-next. Okay, so bigyan lang natin, sa mga electronic display nakasama siya dun sa attitude director indicator. Kung nasan yung gitna, yung mga artificial horizon, so meron na din dong lights para mabilis mo din ma-determine kung nasang marker ka na. Okay pa ba? Nasusundan naman? Ocampo, nandiyan ka pa ba?
Yes, sir. Andito pa po ako.
Okay. Hindi na siya nag-next, di ko alam kung bakit. And yung last slide, okay, yung last slide is sinasabi lang dito is the ILS radio components is tested with an ILS test unit. Okay? So nandyan na yung localizer, the glide slope, marker beacon, to ensure a proper operation of receivers and correct displays on flight deck instrument. Okay? So ina-attach yan doon pag nagte-test ka ng ILS. Okay? Kung di yan ina-attach is naka-attach na yan doon sa aircraft. Meron niyang ILS test. Okay? Parang siyempre, kasi baka inisip nyo, paano yan sir tinetest? Kailangan bang lumipad? So, hindi naman na lumipad, kaya nandyan yan yung mga ILS test para i-test kung correct display ba sa flight deck yung lumalabas. Okay? So, I'm hoping na gets nyo yung topic na to at nasundan nyo naman. So, ito yung sa VOR. Yes, Cortez.
Napindot lang po, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, meron ba kayong question? O wala naman? No question?